All right, good morning, guys. You're just fine. Good. Welcome to Storm this Thursday. It's going to be a relatively short one here today, so I'll try to get right to the setup quickly and hopefully get to some of your questions or answer some of them too coming up as we have the next few moments. As always, you can do so on social media on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, as well as on well, that's it, the social media pages. But we're on streaming, of course, and on Roku and Fire Stick as well. All right, so let's dive right into it. We'll start with the outlooks that are out. We, of course, are now focused mainly on Friday night more than any other time period. That's where we still have the slight risk that's out. This hasn't really changed much at all. The enhanced risk is just to our west. I'll go through the actual specific maps on that coming up here in just a second. Saturday does look quite windy. Now, I don't see any severe weather, of course, but windy on Saturday. And in some cases, to the north of Louisville, you may actually get a few snowflakes coming our way. More and just a few on that as well. All right, so beautiful this morning. It's been cold out, chilly. Not as cold as yesterday morning, but cold enough. Then we get into a beautiful setup this afternoon. Gorgeous out there. Temperatures well into the 60s. Right now we're 39. Still at the freezing mark in a few spots to the north, but with a dry air at play and a lot of sunshine today, the thermometer is going to just skyrocket as we head through the rest of the day. So good setup today. Get all your activities you need to outside. If you want to take care of anything in the yard, today is the day to do that, because then our system, which is actually really in two pieces, the core of it's been that I've been calling the cinnamon roll spinning west to California, but it's in the process of transferring over into a new low pressure that's going to be developing in the front range of the Rockies. That will then kick off the severe risk later on today, and especially tonight into areas of Oklahoma. But it's really going to be the setup as we head into Friday that is getting the most attention. And it's taken on that split look we talked about. We're going to have a cluster of cells to the south along that boundary that shoots in out of Arkansas, then the other batch over portions of Illinois. That's where we have the two areas that are at moderate risk right now from the Storm Prediction Center. And I think, as you're about to see on the data, I think this is nearly spot on to what is likely going to happen as we head into your Friday night, especially. Now, for our area, because we have the split flow out of this, we don't know yet if these two will eventually merge together one solid line or stay split or not. That's really our big debate, especially between Louisville and Evansville, that corridor west of I-65. We don't know how much that's going to hold together or what shape it'll be as far as its line or broken cells. But once you get east of 65, it will likely be a line and weakening. So it's still the same storyline. If you're west of 65, your threat is higher than to the east. Louisville and I-65 is right there at that giveaway point of this taking place. We will not get the worst of this. The worst of this is still going to be in those two moderate risk zones. Breaking down your tornado potential, significant potential here for supercells and perhaps a strong tornado. Again, the data is picking up on a couple of these. It actually is starting to indicate some of the individual cells in the FUTURECAST modeling already showing up in northeast Arkansas. So this is a really rough spot here. Arkansas into just west of Jackson, Tennessee, Memphis area around Paducah. That's the area to watch for those cells that, again, it could be rather nasty as we're into Friday evening. And Illinois, just because they're closer to the low pressure itself, you're going to get supercells there. But it's also where you're going to get the largest of the hailstones will also be a little further to the north. That's the reason why it's hashed in that area. I don't really see a lot of problems with hail otherwise, especially in our area. It's mainly all about wind, and that is one of the bigger threats on this map. The straight line wind potential, again, strong. These storms are going to be moving at 55 to 65 miles per hour. That is their movement. That then can create a very strong wind field as far as wind gust potential that can get over 65 miles per hour if the winds can be tapped into and pushed down to the surface. That is always the big question mark. It is tougher to do in the middle of the night than it is in the daytime. We just have more of a layer that kind of forms, that protective layer, if you will, that tries to form naturally at night that will hopefully keep that wind field from getting all the way to the ground level. But the risk is there that some of these could very well get pushed to the ground. So just be weather aware. But because this is moving at 55 to 60 miles per hour, this is going to be in and it's going to be out of here on this severe threat. That's the good news. You don't have to stay up all night worrying about this one. It's just a few hours as we head into your Friday night. So I like how that is trending at least. So hopefully that'll calm some of the nerves down. Now, the radar will be active way before this gets going. This is going to be an active radar tomorrow morning. We'll have rain at this time. The radar should be already lit up into wave country. This is not going to be severe, but some lightning, thunder, maybe some pea-sized hail out of some of these, but just clusters of downpours and thunderstorms. But this is also a key part. The idea of this being active during the day will help hopefully in taming down the severe threat for the evening hours. The problem, though, and some of the high-res data I've been noticing so far this morning, including this one, is there's a gap that tries to form in part of the afternoon where there could be a few sun breaks. We don't want any sun, but that is possible. I don't think it's going to make a difference either way. I think the wind fields would be the main factor in driving this whole storyline, but still something to watch. Here we are at 6:30 p.m. Friday. Now we've got your supercells that are forming, moving out of Arkansas into West Kentucky, and you got your supercells forming into far eastern Iowa, into northern areas of Illinois. So again, the modeling is matching the outlooks very well at this point. So what happens next? Well, that is where we start really paying attention to what's happening out of West Kentucky, because those cells, you can see as we move to about 11 o'clock in the evening, will the two connect together or stay separate? Some, especially the NAM model, wants to form this as one solid line and move it through. Of course, if it can become a solid line, damaging wind threat would be going up. If they can stay broken like this, individual cells, your tornado threat may linger a little longer toward I-65. So either way, there could be warnings issued out of this. I think warnings are likely to be issued out of this line as it approaches, but I don't know really what the storyline will be after I-65, because at that point, a line is likely to have formed, and then the weakening will continue. So the time frame we're looking at, well, first off, I should mention that the wind is going to stay strong even after this line of storms. Very windy into the night, windy throughout the day on Saturday. And look at that on Saturday. I mean, we're talking about wind gusts that could go up to 50 miles per hour, especially midday on Saturday. But this low is trying to show signs it wants to dip a little more south Saturday, which may give some sprinkles or even some flurries north and east a little bit. It's possible. Dry air is really going to hug on the southern side of this as well. But the temperature profile looks like it will be falling through the 40s throughout the day on Saturday. With strong wind gusts, that means wind chills on Saturday will likely stay in the 30s. Yeah, not the best looking of Saturdays. All right. At least we got Sunday. Sunday will be a lot nicer, but Saturday, different narrative. So here's the summary of how this is looking. Again, the severe risk is there for everyone watching. The time frame, we had this out yesterday. I still think this is going to hold 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. Will it storm the severe threat the entire time? No. If I had to peg a certain time right now for, say, Louisville or I-65, and I know you're going to ask about your individual town. I can't give individual towns, but I can tell you that the 11 o'clock hour is showing up fairly strong for it to be very close, either the whole line or the segmented line, somewhere around I-65, around 11 o'clock to midnight. That looks to be a pretty strong agreement so far, but there's still some wiggle room because, again, these things are racing fast. So the modeling doesn't always capture that. So there's a chance it could be as early as 8 or 9 o'clock west of Louisville. So that's what we're giving it a window, rather large one, to be honest, but it could still shift as we get into the next 24 hours. But at least you guys have sort of a heads up on how this is playing out. But again, all threats are on the table. Your straight line wind threat is number 1. Your potential for an isolated tornado is number 2. I think flooding is probably number 3. I don't see a big issue with flooding because they're moving so fast. And the last issue would be hail. If I had to rank them all in that order, that's how it will look. All right. So did that answer your questions on timing? I think Nancy had the same question. Same with Amy as well. Everyone's looking at the Friday night window. Again, it'll be closer to 8 p.m. the more west you are, closer to 2 a.m. the more east you are. Pay attention to the forecast and the wave weather app. We'll get more specific as we get closer. But I would say anytime after sunset, be ready in case warnings are issued. Okay, so after we get past this system, we got a quiet Sunday, and now it looks like Monday may be relatively quiet as well. The front itself, the problem here on Monday is where would this front be? And the trend is that it may be a little more north than what even this model has, which indicates we may be more capped on Monday, especially Monday night. That may help limit the severe threat, which is good because the moisture is going to kick in Monday night. And then Tuesday, a humid day with showers and storms in the area, and anything that forms can become severe on Tuesday. And then the final question, when will the front move in to end that severe threat? Still seeing a nearly 18 to 20 hour difference on it pushing through, whether it's Friday or Tuesday night or Wednesday night. That's still just a big window. Right now, it will move through, and that will be the end of the severe threat. But until that front moves in, I think we will have a severe potential with all threats again on the table. It's going to be very much a summer feel again early next week. The Storm Prediction Center does have the severe risk still out for our area. This is mainly for Tuesday, and they're focused a little more for an enhanced risk, nearly in the same spots are getting hit tomorrow into Arkansas. This may get adjusted. It may include Monday night. It may include Wednesday. So just, again, stay close to the wave weather app. We'll keep you updated on all of that. And then we'll get more wind. And then maybe a cooler pattern that may last a little longer than the extended. We'll see how that will play out. Nancy, I hope that answered your question about next week there coming our way. Lisa, don't want to repeat it on April 3rd. No, we don't. No, and don't see anything like that. All right, that was a completely different system, which is good. Amanda, does the rotation tracker show anything east of I-65? No. At this moment, it does not. There are some rotation tracks that are showing up, especially out of northeast Arkansas into west Kentucky, and maybe even southwest Indiana. And that's something we'll be watching carefully. All right, guys. Again, I had a caution. This is going to be a short one today. I have to run, but I want to at least get something out there, updated. Again, if you're going to be watching this live, this video will replay when I'm done, and I'll have it on the app here soon if you need to watch it back. And of course, I'll have much more on this coming up on midday at 11 a.m. We'll go through all the latest trends on this because I still got another suite of models to look at, another suite of models. And then once I get past that, I'll have a better idea on some of that timing. All right. So I'll see you guys coming up at 11 a.m. Enjoy today.